If you're scared of anal fisting, don't be. Butts are wildly awesome.
That's a pleasant way to say anuses are nightmarishly elastic.
Living between Wednesdays. Just trying to get by to the next fix. Living between Wednesdays. Prefer the comics over the Netflix. Living between Wednesdays.
Comics. Weekly poll.
Look at all the great comics here in front of us here today.
We got comics. It's the week of comics every week at Sidekick.
Particularly the day of comics today
Is
Wednesday,
Wednesday.
August 5th.
Fifth?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Chris, any
Quarantine forever.
any standout knock 'em dead favorite ever comics that you just gotta scream about?
Actually, like, I want to talk about Firepower, actually.
Great.
Really?
Yeah, because so Firepower came out, like we got the Prelude trade, and that's how it was released because it was supposed to be released and then quarantine. I know when we read the Prelude, we had kind of said, oh, it's super samey to like Iron Fist or like stories we've read before.
Yeah.
I loved this comic the way that it is. I would have given up on it had it not been packaged in the way that it is with just the Prelude and then this.
Ooh.
You don't necessarily need the Prelude to read this comic.
No, not at all.
Yeah, it just goes straight into his family life. He briefly references what he went through when he was with the Klan and like getting his powers and blah blah blah, but it's not the point of the story. He's being asked to come back, but we've read stories like this before. We don't need to know what happened necessarily outside of what happened from the main character's perspective.
Yeah.
We get to hang out with his family at a barbecue. It's personal. You really get a sense of his relationship with his wife. When the sort of like ex-best friend rival character shows up, they do enough with like ninjas and sort of like the tone of the interaction that you understand what's happening. I thought it was really great.
Nice.
I loved it as well, and the issue, I'm gonna lump them, because we brought 1 and 2 at the same time, let's just pretend like it's one big one. Issue 2, like there's only dialogue on the last few pages. Like basically the entirety of the issue is action, and it's action drawn by Chris Samney. Like I was obviously Robert Kirkman knows his game and is writing the dialogue for these characters really well, but I was kind of hoping for just a completely dialogueless issue, just because like I would happily pay for and joyously read 22 pages of just Chris Samney action without any words.
Yeah.
Like the words, they're good at the end. Like there's no, I have no beef with them, but yeah. It's,
the action is amazing,
yeah.
and they do, I mean, spoilers, I guess, but like they do this amazing sequence where he's fighting ninjas in his house and he's trying not to wake up his family.
Pleasant surprise, because we read Firepower and like, yeah, the art's good. And,
Yeah, it's fine, but it's actually something truly special.
I guess
it's showing that it's got some originality to it.
I guess that's why it was released the way it was. So it wasn't.
Good job.
It wasn't a #1. It was a prequel, which was a smart move.
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
Because that's what happens when you're writing for the sub-label that you own. You can kind of do your own thing.
Good job, hindsight and foresight.
Or whatever.
Both.
Jason.
Yes.
Comics.
I want to talk about. I kind of want to talk about 2 things, which is ironic because I only
Go
read
for
2
it.
things this week. But
Go for it.
the more fascinating one for me is definitely the original screenplay adapted into a comic for Alien.
Alien, the hit movie by Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott,
and
yeah.
Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, Sigourney Weaver's not in this. Ripley's a dude. And H.R. Geiger designs.
Of course.
But this is before any of that.
I just put this together.
Yes.
Did Ridley Scott name the main character after himself?
Ridley,
Ridley, yeah. Is that like kind of
I don't think so. I think it would be in the script before it would be. He didn't write the script.
Good point.
Yeah.
Also, sorry to cut in, but I saw Mobius mentioned at the beginning of this. Did Mobius contribute like designs for the
Yeah.
original movie? I had no idea. That's so cool.
All the spaceship stuff is him, and then like all the
All the organic stuff
Yeah.
is Geiger.
I mean, now that I think about it, oh, the organic stuff is Geiger. Okay.
That's why like the contrast is so neat because you see like how the designs for the ships are like these big elaborate like monoliths, and then you get to the organic stuff and it's a completely different vibe.
It's sort of like gross, like morphic organic stuff.
What's it called? Biomechanical. Yeah.
I gotta go watch Alien again.
But before any of those designs were there,
get out of here.
And it was just on the written word. It's a completely different. It's not completely different. It's still similar to what we know. But Dan O'Bannon in the script is kind of what you wanted out of Prometheus, in my opinion. When you watch Prometheus, and you want to see like this investigative world and a different planet with a different society and a different like ecosystem, like you kind of want to see them go through the procedures of what you would do. Prometheus was kind of like, we're on this alien planet, and let's go figure it out. Let's walk out without our helmets. Let's poke stuff. Randomly.
What's this egg with a hole? Maybe I'll put my face in it.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like this, but this is issue 1, and they don't really. The end of it's I don't spoil this, but they just start to find stuff because they're going through the scientific method of finding stuff.
Yeah,
it's definitely tech heavy. They go through like the atmosphere and if there's microbes in it or not, and like, well, we should wear helmets anyway. I don't. That might have been a jab at Prometheus in general because they're like, no, we're wearing fucking helmets. What are you, stupid? And then but you get an idea who the crew is, who the lad is. I like the idea of an alternate take on what the engineer looked like or the space jockey and what the world looked like.
I like this look as opposed to just like a big white dude.
Yeah, and the planet is neat. Like the planet is like this rock-faced, jaggy, black pitch world in Alien, and this one's not. It's like this purple, blank, like ocean of sand with like moons in the orbit and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's a cool way to look at it. I don't know if it's a direct adaptation of the screenplay. They probably like, oh, let's finagle it a bit.
They're selling it as a direct adaptation. That's what they're claiming it is. Now, how much gets translated when you go from a screenplay to a comic book? It's debatable.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're saying it's a direct of the 1976 screenplay entitled Star Beast. So it's already a different thing, and I'm excited to see monsters show up, but it's definitely like what's gonna beat Sigourney Weaver for me? Nothing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm not gonna finish this. But you know what? This is my Alien from now on. Like I'm not gonna be like.
I'm curious because so many other designs are different here. I wonder if like the design of the Alien.
Well, the design of the Alien, the concept art for the Alien when they were like before H.R. Geiger was on and stuff like that is really bad. So I don't know if that's directed from this. But it kind of reminded me of
Star Beast.
Star Beast.
Anyway, podcast.
Comics. Jesus.
That was legitimate script. Anyway, comics. What else are we talking about? I just talked about Alien.
I am gonna talk about Gutt Ghost.
Good. I'm glad I went with my
First of all, anybody worth their salt. Anybody, if you don't know this, I'm disappointed in you, should look at this cover.
Yes.
Be like, that's Mike Mignola.
And then buy this.
And then buy it. And then open it and realize that this is not a comic by Mike Mignola, but it is still a hilarious joyride nonetheless.
Yes.
I always love when you get a Mignola cover on like a random fucking indie book.
Yeah.
Because I just automatically assume I'm gonna like it. Because I'm like, okay, if he decided to do a cover for this,
it must be fun.
Like the man's got taste. This is gonna be good.
I mean, he did spend a long time in quarantine just doing like sketches of like firstly kaiju and then shortly after that
Pokemon
cereal mascots.
Hey, Kermit the Frog got one good one.
Yeah.
All of those sketches have been sold to charity, and he's raised like not to charity, they've been sold for charity, and he's raised over like $150,000 since March. So thanks for watching, Mike Mignola.
So insane.
Awesome work you're doing.
Now go finish that wine with Hugh Jackman.
Gutt Ghost I would recommend to anybody who loves anything really like hilarious or just feels like it's stocked full of memes like Ludocrats or Assassination Nation. Any of the really bonkers, just balls to the walls, just there for the laughs.
If you like it for like the Rat Fink like composition book sketchy feel vibe to it, like the Adult Swim like absurd for absurd, yeah, for sure.
Like this is a one shot in which Gutt Ghost is watching TV. You meet some of his friends. They go out for food. turns out there's like some debt collectors that are coming to him because he's haunting the body of someone that used to owe them something, like that had a loan with them. It's just, there's a lot of abstract, like timey-wimey, just like guts everywhere and people floating in the guts talking about nonsense. Like, it's weird, it's wacky, it's funny. If you like the way this cover looks, that it like captures what is inside the book as well.
It's sadder, more existential, and also funnier than you would expect from this cover.
Trades!
We should talk about the fact that we got 2 Choose Your Own Adventure trades
I love
this week.
Choose Your Own Adventure so much.
I love it too. I was expecting something a little bit more like what you would what you would expect to see.
Yeah, the 2 Choose Your Own Adventure books we got this week do not fit the traditional format of the old school ones you might be used to, where it's just like you read a page and it tells you, you have 2 options, go through this page or this page. These are a little more in depth than that. There's a little more choosing involved in this adventure.
Choosing and limitation. So, I can talk a little bit about the all ages one that we got, and then you can talk a little bit about the 14 plus one that we got. I think it's important to notate the age range of these books, just because, not only for subject matter, but for difficulty.
Yeah. Because
these are not like true flip through Choose Your Own Adventure books. The difficulty range is higher in the 14 plus one than is in this entry level one.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy, it's about pirates. You're chasing an escaped prisoner and you're a pirate. The art is really beautiful. It's very fun. It's pretty close to a traditional Choose Your Own Adventure in that in panels it will sometimes tell you to flip here or there, depending. The one thing that you are given as a game mechanic in this Choose Your Own Adventure, and it does a good job of establishing the rules, is that you have to pick a character, and then you have to complete a character sheet. And then you can gather objects, and you have like stats which are associated with your character. It will either enable or disable you from making certain choices.
Jason, you love pen and paper games. This is made for you.
Oh, you need. Oh, geez. Yeah, I'll probably give it.
Yeah, hey, pal. You got that one where Superman goes to Supertown? Yeah, I got that when it come out. I like the 4th world.